headquarters.
Viewers, I'm not trying to blow our own trumpet here, but CNN News 18 speaks for you. It's your channel. It raises issues that are of import to you. Just look around you tonight, viewers. It's coming up to 9 p.m. and it's that hour where the flagship shows are rolled out across channels. Not one is focusing on this story tonight. Not one, viewers. I told you, I made a personal commitment that till answers are not got, till heads don't roll, we will follow up with this story. And I'm doing so once again. Because tonight, viewers, we ask the question that every Indian flyer is now forced to ask. Are we flying safely? Over the last 48 hours, India's skies have seen a disturbing spate of incidents. 10 flight-related disruptions. From mid-air snags to failed safety checks to basic rostering snafus. I mean, the list is long, viewers, and it is disturbing. We are told that at least 4 or 5 Air India Dreamliners are beached today. If these planes have so many snags, why are they being plied? Why are they being rolled out, rostered? Why are our lives being risked? Here's the list, viewers. The Air India San Francisco to Mumbai flight deplaned in Kolkata after technical snags. AI 159 Ahmedabad to Gatwick cancelled over operational issues. We don't know what these operational issues are. Bland boilerplate statements are issued. Something to do with rostering, something to do with this, that, the other. AI 170 London to Amritsar flight cancelled over operational issues. AI 143 Delhi to Paris flight cancelled after technical issues. During pre-flight checks, AI 142 Paris to Delhi flight for June 18 cancelled over technical issues. Hong Kong to Delhi flight returns after technical snag. AI Mumbai to Ahmedabad flight cancelled over operational issues. AI Express Delhi to Ranchi, it's not obviously a Dreamliner, returns after takeoff due to technical snag. Phuket to New Delhi flight makes emergency landing over security alert. Okay, fair enough. Bengaluru to London flight cancelled over technical issues during pre-flight checks. What are these pre-flight checks? Is it because, viewers, right now there is greater scrutiny that these issues are being caught out because Air India knows one more mistake and they're done for? Were these endemic? Were we flying despite these endemic snafus, technical glitches, and people are saying, chalo chalta hai, it's okay. These incidents on the back of the IC 171 tragedy suggest that the turbulence is much beyond the routine, viewers. The facts are, and they are uncomfortable. Airlines are racing to cut costs, to pack in more, to fly more planes more frequently. But at what cost, viewers? There's been talk of senior maintenance crew across industry being given the pink slip because they're too expensive. Yes, they've served so many years that over the years, viewers, they've started earning more. That's become a problem. But since when did we begin rationing life-saving expertise and experience? Since when was it okay to replace safety protocols with cost-cutting memos? How much profit is enough? Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers first. Air India, with hard facts. I always bring hard facts to every debate, viewers. Tata Aviation has cut losses by 9,000 crores in FY24. What is deemed as losses, we don't know. But nonetheless, revenue is up 24%, viewers. 24%. Indigo, Net profit soars 62% to 3,000 crore. Dividend declared in 2024. It's not a crime to make profits. But it's India's booming civil aviation sector becoming a victim of its own success. Our regulators failing to ground unsafe practices. If the DGCA believes, viewers, that these planes are not airworthy, the Dreamliners, I mean, look at these pictures from all over the country. Harried customers stranded without any sense. And today, viewers, let me tell you, Supriya Sule sends one message saying, look, I am stranded. And the aviation minister responds to her. Does he ever respond to you? Does DGCA ever say, look, there is a problem with the Dreamliners, Air India, you can't fly them? Has a notice gone out today? At least 5 have been benched, viewers. We don't know why. Technical issues, operational issues, who knows? Are some of our carriers, let me say it, flying coffins masquerading as budget miracles? The DGA says it's keeping an eye, but passengers aren't statistics. They're humans and they're apprehensive. I'm sure you are. And if you are, don't stay silent tonight. Join our movement for accountability. No one is asking these questions because I know, viewers, why? Because there is corporate pressure. Ads on the line, advertisements, clout. I know of a journalist very recently who took the interview of the CEO of Air India. Because some people are saying that he even sabotaged his own company's outreach on this issue by plagiarizing the condolence message. Can you believe it? I don't know how far this is accurate, but the two speeches that we've seen seem to read very much alike. Now, it could be, viewers, that they follow some sort of a manual, which in my book is not right, because at least condolences should be original, but maybe there is some industry standard. I don't know, viewers. Give the benefit of the doubt. But viewers, there are channels who have given this person a platform to spout the marketing line for his airline. If Campbell Williams has a defense, come face me. Let's have it out. Viewers, join our movement for transparency. You must. And I want to open this up tonight. Enough is enough. Questions have to be asked. We asked them of Boeing yesterday. Many people said that I was crazy to do that because I can expect a lawsuit which will far exceed anything that I'll ever earn in my life. But viewers, when it comes to you, there's no compromise. Remember that, no compromise, zero compromise. I will speak up for you. I'm appalled, viewers, that the top brass of the Tata Group didn't even show up for the cremation of a pilot. That's what we are being told, viewers. Can you believe it? Ratan Tata set the standards, viewers. He built a memorial in the iconic Taj Hotel for everyone who lost their lives in that tragedy, 26/11 tragedy. The Tata should build a memorial in the iconic Air India building, commemorating the captain, the crew, the passengers. That's the least. That's the least. And I want to open this up because I have some questions. And I want to begin with an industry old-timer who has been around for a very long time, Parvez Damania, former executive director, Kingfisher Airlines. There's Devesh Agarwal, aviation expert. Let me just bring in these two gentlemen first. Mr. Damania, what's happening? I believe this is a problem. I mean, at least 5 Dreamliners grounded today for a variety of reasons. Some of them are of great import. What does this point to? Is it that these were glossed over in the past and now under greater scrutiny, AI doesn't want to risk it? They were risking it in the past. What's going on? I mean, I'm appalled that these planes, if they have so many glitches, if there's so many snafus, are not being, for the moment, taken off the flying rosters. Mr. Damania.
Yeah, I am extremely shocked at the way things are going on at Air India. One would have expected much higher standards from a Tata Group company. It is sad the state of affairs there are in. And I was shocked to see the number of 787 that were cancelled recently. And of course, up till now, there's been no real explanation coming from Air India or Boeing as to the reason of the crash. Still, there are just assumptions and theories, but no concrete reply or report.
Mr. Damania, let me tell you how the system works, okay? I tweeted something saying that look at the number of flights, etc., with technical snafus, glitches, what have you. And I get a call from one of the PR of the airline to say, this is the real thing, please tweet this. So I tweet it. And I read this boilerplate statement. It tells me nothing. Technical issues, rostering issues, this, that, the other.
No,
right? How am I supposed to believe?
No, if they are not sure and they've not been able to
my point is not that. Is the Tata's word gospel, Mr. Damania?
No,
obviously, there's something serious that these planes are not flying around, that they've been benched and beached. So am I not entitled, as somebody in the media asking questions, for an honest answer? Are you not entitled?
Absolutely. As a consumer, as a flyer, you as a media person are entitled to a reply. Their success story of the Indian aviation success story is because the way the consumer has supported these airlines. The growth stories thanks to the consumer coming and flying and supporting the airlines. So they have a right to know if there is an issue. The consumer has a right to know.
So where is the consumer being told? Sir, there are people posting videos, perplexed. They have lives to lead. They're risking this. Are you apprehensive tonight? Let me ask you. Would you, for example, take this Dreamliner and fly around the world? Would you do it?
No,
would you risk your family and their safety?
I would not do it. And it's very surprising. I was talking to a very senior person, airport authority. He's going to Dubai. And he said, should I fly the Dreamliner?
There you go.
So now even people in the aviation industry are really worried. And what I think that if there are any doubts, any gray areas, economics should take a back seat. They should look and think of the thought of grounding this fleet, making all the
but where is
corrections.
The DGCA? Now, hang on, just a minute. There is, look, I am not sparing anyone tonight, viewers. Where is the DGCA? The so-called government? No, I'm asking. Because if the DGCA knows that is happening, look, the DGCA has told Air India, in all fairness, let's be honest, they've told Air India, you've got to tighten those protocols for checks, right? That's what they've been told. Now, when they're going through these hoops, there are problems clearly because some have been stalled because of technical checks, etc., taking too long. So why weren't these technical checklists given earlier? What was the DGCA doing all this while? We're waiting for a crash.
No, you see, they should have done this much earlier. I think the DGCA has given the two airlines that are running the industry a long rope. And they should tighten it. They should be more careful.
No. If they've given a long rope at the risk, sir. No, look, you've got to ask with me tonight for accountability. If this is the case, this is collusion by another name. I'm sorry. You say that after a crash, everyone wakes up to say, oh, yeah, those 10 other things that we should check, but take a little bit of time, means that lesser planes will be in the air, means that there will be not enough passengers and these poor airlines will get bled. All these people in the DGCA should come up and be sacked. Mr. Damania, am I wrong? Am I asking the wrong question?
No, you are asking the absolute right question.
So what is going on?
Up till now, nobody has been held accountable for this crash.
Why, sir? Why? No, are lives cheap?
That I can't answer you why.
People pay a lot of money to put their faith in these airlines and in the system.
Whether they are from the government bodies, government officials, from Air India, whatever, people should be accountable. Lives have been lost and no amount of money. The Tatas declared a compensation of 1 crore initially. Air India declared a compensation of 25 lakh, but no amount of money can bring your son or daughter back. This loss is irreplaceable and there's nothing can change this.
I can. I'll tell you what changes this. And let's keep the visuals also on air, viewers. I'm going to show you these visuals of people who are looking bereft and bewildered. They don't know what to do. There are people saying that, can you tell me why are we not flying? Is it that there is something wrong endemically? Are we being risked? What is going on? Not one question. Devesh Agarwal, let me bring you in. If the Dreamliner, and I heard you telling me the first night The first day, in fact, first afternoon, I met you then for the first time, and you said the Dreamliner unimpeachable reputation. Okay, if the Dreamliner is such a great airplane, why are so many of them beached, leaking snags, and other issues? We're getting boilerplate press releases. I was sent one, as I just said, a short while back, as if Tata word is gospel. How do I know the explanation is honest? It could just be a great PR campaign. Just tell these morons that, it's a technical issue, you see. What do you mean technical issue? What is this technical issue? Should we not know, Devesh Agarwal?
Hi, Rahul. Yes, I still stand by my statement. We can't use Air India and then paint an entire worldwide fleet of about 1,175 aircraft.
No, why? Is Boeing, hang on. Is Boeing some real company with great ethical morals? Sir, have we seen the documentaries? Have you heard some of the whistleblowers? Have you heard what that god-awful former CEO of Boeing told a inquisition that was set up in the US Congress? Luckily, the US Congress has something like this. In India, viewers, you'll never see a CEO being brought before Parliament.
I agree
So,
with
Mr.
you.
Agarwal, why should I believe Boeing? Who's Boeing to me? They don't pay my salary. They owe an explanation. Indian lives have been lost. I don't give a damn about Boeing, to be honest, Mr. Agarwal. Sorry. And for me, if one plane goes down with Indian lives, it's the worst plane. Solve it.
Okay, I mean, see, I'm just saying that the world is still flying this aircraft. That's the point I was trying to make.
Yeah, and we don't know. As I said, are these flying coffins?
I was trying to come to a different issue based on exactly what you were saying, accountability. We don't have an independent regulator. We do not have an independent air accidents investigation board. They both are under the Ministry of Civil Aviation. The Ministry of Civil Aviation, till just a short time ago, was the operator of an airline, the regulator of the airline, the operator of the airport, the regulator of the airport. How are you going to have checks and balances? You can't be having the fox guarding the hen house or vice versa. So there itself, the first thing that is really required is the DGCA has to become an independent body. Go back to the DGCA. What was the DGCA's background? You're talking about a regulator. What is the DGCA's background? The gentleman may be a very competent person, but he has come from agriculture. What has agriculture got to do with aircraft? So I'm just trying to say that the entire regulatory system from the top down has to be revamped. You're right now showing videos of an A330 of Saudi Arabian Airlines on your channel. That also had a hydraulic issue.
Yes.
So aircraft are incredibly complex. When it comes to Air India, everybody keeps saying Tatas, but these aircraft have been, how do I use this word? They've been mismanaged by Air India employees when they were part of the government of India. And the after effects are still there.
Hang on, sir. Hang on. Look, it was not as if. No, Mr. Hang on. Yes, there was mismanagement. But Mr. Agarwal, please. Mr. Agarwal, please. You cannot give a complete free pass to the current management. They knew what they were getting into. They knew exactly what they were buying.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was trying to say, that it's been more than 2 years and there is no way that we should accept this from the current ownership of the Tatas that, oh, this is what the government has spoiled and we are still trying to fix it. Hey, you've had more than 2, almost now approaching 3 years. I am in with you in this. These aircraft are badly maintained and they have not been maintained well subsequently as well. And definitely the management of Air India and the management of Tatas have to be held accountable, because really, to be honest with you,
Rahul, you have to remember one thing, that Tata is not a cash-starved company.
Exactly, I've just shown you the numbers.
No, Rahul, Tata have the resources to bring in the best engineering team, the best equipment. They are not tight like some other airlines. So there is no question of saying that they took over a bad management, they took over a bad setup. They knew exactly what they were buying and they had the resources to put things right. So by now, things should have been put right. Management is available, international teams are available, the spare parts available, and if all over the world these aircrafts are very successfully flying without any accidents, they could be flying in India. First and foremost, this aircraft is flying all over the world. A lot of airlines are using this. Yes, there
Look,
have
I'm
been
not
issues with
making
this
this.
aircraft
No, hang
in
on,
the
just a
past.
minute. There is something that I must put down here. I'm not just making this about the Dreamliner, Dr. Ranganathan. This is about a culture. This is about a system that is rotten to the core, and we are done with taking silly explanations. The other day, you were there, Dr. Ranganathan, when someone popped up and said, oh, the DGCA is very independent. And I had to actually share the facts with you. You remember? People are coming here, covering up. They don't have what is known as the moral empathy to speak the truth because they have some vested interest. Can you believe it, viewers? This is what we've come to. We bargain lives for our own advantage. We go back to those bosses and say, we did such a great job in defending you, and they'll throw a couple of, I don't know, thousands of rupees at you, and you'll go away feeling great. Dr. Ranganathan, I have a problem tonight. Is it passengers first or profits first? I'll ask very straight. I'm only used to asking straight questions. I'm not someone who dances around subjects. You've been with me for many years and you know my style. I'm asking you, are all airlines today, whether they're Indigo, I don't care about them, I don't care if they come after me, I'm here, not running away. I've taken on many political parties, come, sue me. But I'm asking you, are you putting profits over passenger safety? And that's the fundamental question, Dr. Ranganathan. Fundamental tonight. Let's hit it where it matters.
To answer you very simply, before privatization, the government was putting losses before passenger safety, and now everyone's putting profits before passenger safety. But Rahul, I need to make 2 or 3 very important points, and I speak, of course, as a layman. To paraphrase Oscar Wilde, who said, all of us are in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars. And I want to commend you by saying that all of us have suffered for decades, but at least you are fighting back, and I have my reasons for commending you, because as you rightly said it, maybe less than a week ago, we were on the same program on your debate, and the former chairman of DGCA asserted that DGCA is independent, and you proved him wrong. Of course, it is not independent, and as one of the panelists said, it is sacrilege. It is a crime that you do not have an independent regulator for the air traffic that is going on in this country for decades. I mean, do they not see a conflict of interest? Let me just put one reason why. I'm not saying it is a problem that everyone has to address, but don't you see a conflict of interest when you have nations, multiple nations, spending and earning billions, hundreds of billions of dollars buying these aircrafts, and then you have a government agency that is looking at the safety concerns of these very aircrafts? For example, Boeing or Airbus, there is a clear conflict of interest, number one. Number two, as you rightly said, the time has come, and I commend you, congratulate you, the time has come for us to have an independent DGCA. But here is where the crime is happening. I can shout, you can shout. Why has the Supreme Court not had a suo motu judgment on this? Why has no one, and with due respect to a lot of panelists who are experts out here, why have they never approached the Supreme Court demanding that DGCA be made independent? And let me end by telling you the real tragedy that is happening. Of course, this is away from the tragedy that struck Ahmedabad. Day before yesterday, Rahul, a real terrible tragedy struck in the air traffic corridor of Kedarnath, where a chopper crashed, killing 7. You know the problem? It is flying at 4,000 meters above sea level at the most perilous air terrains in the world. It does not have an air traffic control. There is no radar coverage. There is no live weather reporting. The pilots, they say we fly 300 sorties every day. We fly blind. This is the situation. And how on earth is the DGCA chairman still okay with this? He should have resigned on day 1, on the day of the crash. Why is the Supreme Court silent? Number one, this is what I want to know.
Well, viewers, what to say about the Supreme Court?
Rahul, may I respond to Anandji?
Yeah, 1 second. Yes, please do. And then I want to bring in Flight Lieutenant Meenu Wadia.
Anandji, I think just before the 2014 elections, the cabinet approved what is called the CAA bill. The idea being that every passenger will contribute some amount, maybe 50 rupees or something, and that is what will be used to fund the CAA, which would be the replacement of the DGCA, and therefore the DGCA would not be bound to the government for funding. That bill has never been, it has been approved in cabinet, but it has never been brought to the floor of the parliament. Till today, it is not there.
And I just want to show you, I'm sorry to interrupt, sir. This is the DGCA website. Can you imagine there is not a single tabulation of number of issues, safety or accident issues that are reported every year? This is a collation of all the treatment or the resolved issues that have been resolved by DGCA going back to 30 years.
So let me ask.
That's it.
Let me ask the other uncomfortable question. And we have with us, as I said, Flight Lieutenant Meenu Wadia. Excuse me, sir. Mr. Wadia, is this?
And I'm surprised that you and some of your panelists are angry today and upset today at what you are stating.
Yes.
Exactly what you are stating, we've been fighting for the last 50 years. DGCA, in fact, I'll go far beyond, and I know exactly what I'm saying, and I can prove what I'm saying. DGCA has been the actual cause for unsafe atmosphere and unsafe in the country. They have actually prevented further improvements in aviation safety. Now, when you're talking of independent board, we've been fighting for many years to have an independent safety board as it exists all over the world. Yeah. Eventually, they've come out with something which they call an independent safety board. I am afraid it is certainly not independent at all. If it comes under the Ministry of Civil Aviation and the DG answers and talks to the secretary, how on earth do you ever call it independent? All over the world, you have a totally independent safety board. And furthermore, who is this independent safety board? It's not you and me.
No.
There are qualified accident analysis specialists who are trained in various aspects of analyzing difficult situations or unsafe situations. These are the people who constitute part of this independent safety board. And what I'm horrified today also to learn that the board which has been construed to investigate this accident is a secretary. How on earth do you expect a secretary to understand fundamentals of aviation safety?
No, shocking.
It is ridiculous. And
shocking.
It is. I hope someone objects to it right now. It's better late than never. And has a proper aviation expert, a specialist in accident analysis, put on the board to investigate this accident.
I will support any move to file a PIL on this issue. So let's work together and file a PIL on this issue. It's enough. Enough is enough, viewers. And I want to one final time go back to both the aviation experts here. First, Mr. Damania, I have to ask you, how unsafe are the skies? It's a basic question.
No. Please don't say that. They are pretty much safe. Still, aviation, flying is the safest mode of transport. This has been a terrible, terrible tragedy. The airlines have to spruce up, improve safety standards. The DGCA has to have better monitoring standards, and things have to improve. But I would kindly request you to see that the confidence of the flying public is not shaken up.
Okay.
What has happened is terrible, cannot be replaced. Tatas have to shape up. They have to be more careful in future, more careful, very, very careful in the future.
Sir, I get this. I get the sense.
Have to be accountable.
I get the sense that, look, viewers, just a month and a half back, we had a tragedy in Pahalgam. A large number of tourists put their faith in the government, believing that they were going to a secure environment, that they would be safe. They were let down, viewers. No heads have rolled. Let's be honest about that. No head, not one. Now we're being told, don't shake people's confidence. The people are already feeling apprehensive. Mr. Damania himself said, I wouldn't fly the Dreamliner right now. There's a problem. So why should the public at large be lulled into a sense of complacency? Yes, doctor. before I move on.
Very briefly, with due respect to Mr. Damania, of course, he's the expert and I'm the layman. But Rahul, you remember, 5 days ago, I was myself telling you about the fact that the air travel is the safest mode of transport in the world. But the two things are mutually exclusive. I also said that the DGCA has actually enforced the highest number of enforcements in its history, more than 25% year on year. But that does not take away from the fact that it needs to be independent and there is severe laxity that needs to be addressed. I'm sorry, those two things, Mr. Damania, are mutually exclusive.
Let me tell you, viewers, as we move on. Yes, very quickly. Yes.
I am not expressing an opinion. Mr. Damania is expressing an opinion. I'll give you facts and figures. Our Indian skies are not safe at all. However, I wouldn't like to make a statement for passengers that it is reasonably safe, or I would certainly travel by any airline, including Air India, at any time today. But however, if we want to compare and make it safer, there is far more scope to improve. The world average accident record is 1.5 hull losses per million departures. Countries that have a good safety record, like America, Europe, Japan, Australia, have 0.5 to 0.6, and Australia for a long time had 0.2 hull losses per million departures. I know the figures for India. I dare not open my mouth over here in this forum. I don't want to frighten you and the public. So let me keep quiet about it.
Well, there you go, viewers. That's an honest assessment. And I'll tell you, the DGCA, these airlines, all of them, these are a closed corporation. It's a word that Dr. Ranganathan uses quite often. I'm paraphrasing him. It's a closed corporation, viewers. This monopoly needs to be broken. Yes, Mr. Agarwal, before I move on, please. Yeah.
Since you were this thing, I would also urge you to do two things. Take out the AAIB's recommendations for the Mangalore crash, which was 15 years ago, and for the Calicut crash, which was relatively recent. They have made certain recommendations. Please go and ask the government, how many of those recommendations have they implemented? And how many have they not implemented and why they have not implemented? I'll be honest with you, both are AAI-run airports which have come under the Ministry of Civil Aviation.
Okay.
Well,
can I lean upon your expertise to create, sir, a memo for me and send it so I can actually ask these questions of the government? So let's work together. I call upon all of you. Help. Let's make this happen. Let's make this happen. I'll also do this, sir, but I won't know what they have implemented, what they haven't. You probably have an inside working knowledge. And I would really, really fall back on your expertise. And let's craft some sort of document. Let's take it to the courts, the PILs. Let's file PILs. Let's make the change. You know, my problem is that we all lament, but we don't act. Let's act. And viewers, if you have any suggestions, message me. I'm on Twitter. I've got an email here at the company. Send me your views.
I'll give you some more facts also. Even when the Bombay High Court have given an order to the DGCA to do various things like having an inquiry, they've never done it.
Well, there you go. There's a problem, viewers. It can't go on. Something has to give. Something has to give. And I need to move on now because there's also another very important story that we have to look at, viewers. And it's a story that will threaten to engulf a lot of nations as we go along. From Islamabad to Tehran, the horsemen of radical pan-Islamism are sitting scared. They fear Judgment Day. A month ago, India drew a line in the sand. India launched strikes to punish Pakistan for its continued support to Islamist terror groups. Now, much of the Western world is borrowing from India's playbook to punish Iran. Of course, Iran doesn't have nuclear weapons. So it is, in comparison to Pakistan, a softer target. This is perhaps why the Islamic theocratic regime in Tehran has discovered that it is going to pay a huge, perhaps catastrophic cost, as US President Donald Trump has said, for attempting to go nuclear and for gestating Islamist terrorists. He says we are looking at better than a ceasefire, a real end, not a ceasefire. An end, simply stated, Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. I said it over and over again. Everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran. Listen to him, viewers. I paraphrased him. Listen to him.
An end, a real end. not a ceasefire, an end.
So something that would be permanent.
Yeah, or giving up entirely.
Is
That's
that
okay too.
Are you close there? Is that possible? Is that possible in the next 24,
Why
48
not?
hours?
Certainly possible. Complete give up. That's possible. Remember, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. It's very simple. You know, we don't have to go too deep into it. They just can't have a nuclear weapon.
Not just Trump, Israel has even got support from the G7 that has unanimously backed the Jewish state. It says in its resolution, the G7 that is, it passed a resolution. It said, we affirm that Israel has a right to defend itself. We reiterate our support for the security of Israel. Iran is the principal source of regional instability and terror. Clear that Iran can never have a nuclear weapon, unquote. The G7 isn't wrong to describe Israel in these terms. Here are some hard facts that paint Iran in the same unflattering hue of revisionist regimes that have little empathy for the world's plurality and lean on, viewers, extrajudicial actors as foreign policy. Viewers, Iran is the primary financial and military patron of Hezbollah, a Shia Islamist terror group conducting attacks in Syria, Iraq, Israel and abroad. It threatens India and its sovereignty over Kashmir. How do we know this? Because the United Nations Security Council reports have made a mention of this, viewers. Iran financially and militarily backs Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad, a Sunni Islamist terror movements to target Israel and destabilize US allies. The source of this information is the US Treasury Department Sanctions 2019-2024. Iran's Quds Force exports Islamist terror via proxy militia like Kataib, Hezbollah and Houthis. The UK Parliament Foreign Affairs Committee has put this out, viewers. That's the source of this information. Iran supported the Taliban during US operations in Afghanistan. The United Nations 2020 United Nations Security Council Monitoring Team report has established this. Iran harbored Al-Qaeda leaders including Saif al-Adel and members of Osama bin Laden's family. Again, the UN monitoring report on Al-Qaeda of 2021 details this. The question is, and I want to open this up and ask viewers, the stakeholders tonight, and we have stakeholders from across the board on this debate, even Indian apologists for Iran. And I'm going to ask some very straightforward questions. Yes, viewers, Trump is two-faced. Even as we speak, he's supporting Pakistan. But he's waging war, or at least a proxy, by backing Israel against Iran. We all know that. But viewers, Iran is not a state that we should take lightly. It's in our interest at the end of the day to see Iran without nuclear weapons. And I want to ask Mr. Khosrow Isfahani, Senior Research Analyst, National Union for Democracy in Iran, the NUFDI. First of all, commiserations. There have been many losses of lives in Iran. So on that issue, sir, there is no ambiguity here. No one wants to see war and violence. But I have to ask you, are those defending Iran defending states that have turned proxy terror into foreign policy? And we have a state like Pakistan on our borders. So I have to ask you, sir, this question.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm going to repeat a message that literally this morning came out from the mother of an Iranian young protester who was killed on the streets of Iran by this regime 2 years ago. This woman wrote that some are telling us that you shouldn't be afraid of war, but you should be afraid of those who are celebrating war. They are misleading us. People in Iran are not celebrating war. They are celebrating that the butchers of their children are being killed. You are watching a nation that has suffered for 4 decades under the tutelage of an autocratic leadership that has killed innocent Iranians on the streets again and again. You're watching a nation that has suffered for 4 decades and fought back, and now they are watching their country, its immense suffering. When you talk with Iranians, yes, some of them are scared. Their homes are in danger as well. But they are also celebrating the death of IRGC commanders. Commanders that have blood of thousands of Iranians on their hands. And not only Iranians. You rightly mentioned the export of terrorism by this regime. The Islamic Republic has exported terrorism to Kashmir, to Iraq, to Yemen, to Lebanon, to Syria, to South America. The list goes on. We are dealing with a terrorist regime that has taken hostage the whole world for 4 decades.
There you go, viewers.
And now,
this is Mr. Isfahani, an Iranian, a patriotic Iranian. But he's not going to stand up for a regime that has turned proxy terror into foreign policy, that terrorizes its own people. But viewers, in this country, in our democratic republic, we have people like Sheikh Amir. We have the Congress, we have the left that come out and say, we condemn Israel. That the government must back wholeheartedly Iran. Sheikh Amir, you heard Mr. Isfahani. You respond to him, don't respond to me. You are abetting in the worst form of genocidal violence, Sheikh Amir, because you are playing to a political gallery in India. Do you think Indian Muslims care? Do you think they're going to listen to you? Do you think they don't see right from wrong? Do you take them for fools?
Well, you don't know about what Indian Muslims think.
Why?
And
why, sir? They think like Indians. We're all Indians. And we don't appreciate a country that is exporting terror. That has an eye. No, one second. That supports the intifada, as you call it, sir, in Kashmir. Or separatism, as we call it.
No, your support for Israel is not always...
Haven't you not heard Mr. Owaisi? Have you not heard Mr. Owaisi? Have you not heard Mr. Salman Khurshid? What they have said about Pakistan and its proxies? And about those terror groups that you
Mr.
go
Rahul,
and support Sheikh Amir?
Your support for Israel is not about diplomacy or history or about Jewish people. It often reflects the proxy expression of
Listen,
its,
Sheikh Amir,
domestic
you tell me
bias.
something. You tell me something.
Because
Listen,
you
I've
hate
heard
Indian
your
Muslims,
sanctimonious
you hate
nonsense.
Muslims in India,
Listen to me,
that's
Sheikh
why you
Amir. I'm
support
asking you a
Israel.
question. I'm asking you a
said nothing
question.
what you heard.
Do you
What you
support
heard.
Iran when it comes out and says that Kashmir should be given its rights?
Do you know about the foreign
That we
policy
should be...
relations
No,
of
no,
Iran
hang
and
on.
India?
Do you support them when they say... Hang on. Do you support them when they support the Hezbollah that says that we support the separatism in Kashmir? Yes or no? Answer the question.
You're trying to link everything. See,
I'm not linking everything, it's a fact.
Just only you are
Tell
biased.
me that it's wrong.
You are biased.
Tell me that
You are
Iran
biased
doesn't
to
back
hate
Hezbollah.
Muslims in
Tell me
India.
that. Tell me
Just
that.
because
Tell me
you
that.
hate Muslims in India, you are supporting Israel. Just because you hate Muslims of India,
Oh,
that's
don't
why
be
because
stupid.
you support the
Mr.
genocide
Amir,
in
don't play
Gaza.
this victim
You
card,
support the
okay?
genocide
We
in Gaza.
support any country that is going to take out the agents of cross-border terror. Yes, there is plenty of duplicity. I am not saying there isn't. The West thinks that only one set of people can have the nuclear bomb. That's also wrong. I know this. There is racism.
Yes.
There is all sorts of other
you will
discrimination. But
you will
listen to me.
support the
When it
brutality,
comes to
the barbaric
principle,
attitude
stand
of
up for your
Israel.
principles. We have your party, the Congress party, Rahul Gandhi and company, who come out and say, because they share a stage with Ilhan Umar, who come out and say, viewers, that, oh, you know, we must stand with Iran. What is Iran, viewers, today under the Ayatollahs? You want to
Iran is
ask
a
all
country.
those people
Iran
who have
is a
suffered?
country.
Mr. Sheikh Amin, if you have any conscience, if you speak for Muslims who are oppressed anywhere in the world, you will speak for the people of Iran who are oppressed under tyranny for the last 50 years.
I'm speaking for the Muslims of India. Just because you are biased,
I am
you hate the
speaking.
Muslims
There's nothing.
of India.
There's no
That's
bias.
why you
Muslims
support
of
Israel.
India will never support
That's why you
terrorists.
support Israel.
Please,
That's
Muslims
why
of
you
India will
support the
never support
brutality,
terrorists.
the
They are
barbaric
Indians and they're
attitude of
Indians
Prime
first.
Minister Netanyahu.
One second. Let me open this up. Hang on. You know, viewers, for too long these people have run a cottage industry in this country. These Sheikh Amirs and
brought
their
this guy from
supporters.
Iran.
They go running around in the streets,
just
viewers,
because he
supporting
subscribes to your
Nasrallah.
ideology, and you brought him here.
That genocidal maniac They go running around in the streets.
He must be sitting somewhere outside Iran. And you have brought him here to spread his
And
propaganda.
viewers, yes, you must ask him why. You ask him why.
760.
I want to open
Well, he's
this
a
up.
propagandist.
I
don't
want
need
to open
ask
this
you
up.
why.
General Bakshi, how dangerous is the specter of a Pak-Iranian theocratic access to India's interests?
Look, Rahul, the simple fact is that as far as relationships go, they are based on the primacy of national interests, right? As far as national interests go, especially national security interests, I don't think there is another nation than Israel which has stood by India in every war we have fought since our independence. I mean, that is a fact. When the rest of the world had dumped us, they were the guys who stood with us, right? I must also add that even with Iran, geostrategically, we have had interests that coincide, especially in Chabahar and others.
Yes.
But as far as Iran's contention that it has the right to destroy Israel, I'm afraid you are asking for trouble. You have invited trouble and it has rightly visited you. I mean, no nation can threaten to wipe another nation off the face of the earth. No nation can then proceed to try and acquire nuclear weapons to carry out that threat and not expect a reaction. I mean, that is logical. Frankly speaking, we have more in common with the Shias than we have with the Sunnis, who have been primarily directing their terror against us. But as far as the support of Iran is concerned to Pakistan, in the 1965 war, in the 1971 war, they had sent even their aircraft across. So that is what we have to keep in mind, being very straightforward and upfront. What have you done for our national interest? How have you supported our national interest? I think that is the acid touchstone when it comes to relations between two countries.
The same theocratic kleptocracy, the same bunch of mullahs, Mr. Bakshi, Dr. General Bakshi, you know, they gave us a lecture on human rights about 2.5 years back. Can you believe it, General Saab? A lecture on human rights. They were telling India how to conduct the government here, conduct itself with our minorities. Can you believe it, General Bakshi? Can you believe it? And these chaps in the Congress, etc., are going out there, becoming pamphleteers for a bunch of genocidal theocrats, kleptocrats, mass murderers. General, what do you
No,
think?
Absolutely, Rahul.
Something to what the general said.
Even
Sorry.
in the Operation Sindoor, the one country that has stood by us, not just in platitudes and homilies, but in actual, real, honest to God terms, in terms of support, technological, military, and otherwise, I think has been Israel.
Yes.
So I think when Israel is engaged in a life and death struggle, when Israel says its very existence is threatened, well, then we certainly have to keep that in mind. We certainly have to keep that in mind and return a good deed.
Yes.
I will be as transactional as that.
Absolutely.
I will not get into any morality place.
In any case, I think, General Saab, you're absolutely right. The world is moving towards that. There's no ambiguity there. I'm just coming out to you, Dr. Ranganathan. I want to just bring in the Israeli guest on this show.
Supporting Iran doesn't make us anti-India.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Sir, you must be reading, I don't know, you must be reading the Al-Qaeda's manual of foreign policy. That's what I think you're reading, or the Hezbollah's.
No, don't bring Al-Qaeda
keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. Let me bring
it. We
it.
are very much Indians.
Keep it to yourself, sir. Keep it to yourself. I can see how Indian you are. I can see when you run around. Do you support Nasrallah and the Hezbollah? Yes or no?
Well, they have their own cause.
They have their own cause. You take a position. What is your cause? Do you support them? Yes or
Terrorism
no?
is not the culture of the Middle East. Terrorism is not the culture of the Middle East. These people have suffered under the tutelage of the Islamic Republic and its fangs across this
region. Can you believe it, viewers? This is Sheikh Amir. This is the Congress Party, viewers. This is the Congress Party of India.
Either.
They're being given a lecture by an Iranian who's living in fear. and is
brought him
waging
to-
a fight,
People in
ideological
Iran have
fight.
been fighting
One
against
second.
these
Look at them,
monsters.
shameful people. Congress party and company. Hang on, just a minute. Let me just bring in the Israeli guest. And I'm sorry, sir, I've come to you a little late. And
It's
Dr.
Kalev Ben-
Ranganathan.
yes,
Yeah, Kalev Ben
Kalev
David.
Ben David.
Now, I have to ask you a simple, honest question. Should Israel have not
Sure.
waited for the diplomatic process initiated by President Trump to run its course? There were talks going on. Should you not have waited?
No. Let me clarify. And President Trump has made this absolutely clear that when he started his negotiations, he said he was going to give it 60 days for there to be some progress towards the core issues. The reason why he put a deadline on it is because intelligence reports showed that Iran, not just Israel, the International Atomic Energy Agency released reports showing that Iran was accelerating its enrichment of uranium up to the level needed to develop nuclear weapons.
Okay.
So Iran was stalling for time. So President Trump, at the beginning of his talks, made it very clear he was giving a 60-day deadline to show some progress
So let me
to
ask
the key
you,
issue of enriching
Mr.
uranium.
Khalid
And
Ben David.
President Trump himself said the 60 days, Israel waited for those 60 days.
Okay, you waited for 60 days, but I have to ask you, how far are you going to take this? Regime change? Is Khamenei's neck on the line?
No. First of all, I do want to say to my Iranian brother there and to all our Iranian brothers and sisters, as a citizen of Israel, we have nothing against Iranian citizens. This is not a war against the citizens
Whom have you
of
brought
Iran.
here?
Many
Whom have you brought here?
Israelis,
They killed 35,000 Palestinians.
many
says
Israelis.
35,000
Hamas says-
Palestinians, they bombed them, killed
I'm
their
talking
sons,
about
daughters.
Iran. I'm talking
They
about
killed the
Iran
small
right
children in
now.
Palestine.
Don't
I am
worry,
talking
Mr.
about
David.
Iran.
This guy is a professional
Inside
heckler.
Iran are saying our
No,
enemy
don't worry.
is the
Don't
Islamic
get
Republic.
involved. Don't get involved.
Look
One
how
second.
quickly
I'll
your
get Dr.
guest
Ranganathan to
tries
fix
to
him right
change the
now.
subject.
Yes.
But let me finish, please.
Yeah, let him finish.
We have
Don't
nothing
heckle.
against the citizens of Iran. The
Don't throw
opposite, many
metaphorical
Israelis
stones.
No, you
are
allow
of
them to
Iranian
Don't throw
descent
stones.
and
Don't
are
throw stones.
identified with them. This
Don't
is a
throw
war.
stones. Yes.
This is a war against the Iranian regime, which is made very clear. Our prime minister said our goal is, as much as Israel would like to see regime change, our
Okay.
leaders have said clearly that is for the Iranian people
It
to
is for
decide.
the Iranian regime now to decide, Dr. Ranganathan, nuclear weapons or their people's welfare. Straight question
That's
to you.
right. That's right.
First of all, thank you, Rahul, and thank you for having me as a layman on the panel. I'm appalled. Can I just begin by saying that not only is this Congress spokesperson venerating a terrorist Nasrallah, he's actually openly mocking the Iranian dissident who has suffered at the hands of the brutal Islamic jihadi regime in Iran. Make no mistake, this same person from Kashmir will be mocking you as well, a Kashmiri Pandit who has been driven out by the same Islamic jihadi ideology from Kashmir. This is the kind of logic that these people bring. But I want to say something important. This is not about the rogue Islamic State of Iran that is imploring Muslims to support the freedom movement of Kashmiri Muslims, or about the legitimate Jewish state of Israel that is trying to help the entire world by eradicating the jihadi nuclear menace. No. Of course, Israel must be supported in this war because it is a war against nuclear threat from a theocratic dictatorship that has a religious mandate to rule the world and annihilate all non-believers. No, Rahul. This is about the hypocrisy when it comes to the Western nations, especially the USA. Whether it is Russia, whose energy America continued to buy even after the Ukraine war commenced, or Syria, whose president had a $10 million bounty on his head until he shook hands with the American president, or Pakistan, that harbored Osama and yet remains America's friend. America thinks it can preach us and get away with it. Well, those days are gone. It is a fact that American nuclear doublespeak is present and it is for all to see. Let me explain this anecdote. In September of 1984, a month before Prime Minister Indira Gandhi was assassinated, the CIA got to know that in a top secret meeting with her military advisor, she had been briefed on a detailed Indian Air Force plan to bomb Pakistan's nuclear facility in Kahuta. The plan was meticulously crafted, awaiting only her approval. While she was giving it a serious thought, sources inside the US Intelligence Committee promptly leaked this information to the NYT that published it. Delhi was incensed as it led to Mrs. Gandhi shelving all thoughts of the airstrike on Kahuta, and Washington was incensed. as it led to Mrs. Gandhi knowing of a CIA mole in her office. Meanwhile, our intelligence agencies were called in and large-scale surveillance of everyone connected with the PMO initiated. Tragic fate intervened, however, Rahul, and Mrs. Gandhi was assassinated, as we know. But the surveillance continued. 3 months after her death, India's largest mole hunt unearthed a massive spy network that had been passing sensitive information for decades, right from inside the Prime Minister's office. An officer working directly under the Prime Minister was arrested, along with a businessman and a dozen other officials. Their trial dragged on for a decade and a half. Many died before they could be convicted. This is declassified from CIA RDP 90-0138 and CIA RDP 57 and 0025. Of course, just 30 seconds. It is a matter of conjecture, but Pakistan's nuclear bomb would have remained a dream had we Indians not turned traitors and sabotaged our own plans. What is not a matter of conjecture, though, Rahul, is that the gates for the enemy are always open from the inside. But who was oiling those gates? Yes, America. The same America that is now adamant that a rogue Islamic nation cannot ever have a nuclear bomb. This, while it not only helped a rogue Islamic nation, Pakistan, build a bomb, it actively sabotaged all efforts by India to neutralize its nuclear threat. We stand alone, but we stand united.
Absolutely. General Bakshi, this is a conundrum. We would all want to support the US, but we find that Trump is an issue. He's unpredictable. Now it turns out that he's launching some mobile company and is going to sell mobiles for some $500, and one understands therefore why he was imposing tariffs on Apple, who's making mobiles in our country, because when we'd export them, they'd be competing with his product.
You know, that exactly is the problem. Frankly, Rahul, many of us have heaved a sigh of relief when Joe Biden was, voted out of office.
Yes.
Because of the simple fact that apart from Richard Nixon, in no other any other presidential tenure had Indo-American relations, gone so low. They had helped stage the coup in Bangladesh, overthrow Hasina Wajed regime with the help of the ISI and the Jamaat-e-Islami. They were trying to carve out a cookie land in our northeast.
Yeah.
They had, swallowed $1 billion from us, didn't bat an eyelid, and cheated us on the supply of the GE 404, 414 engines. So we thought there would be a welcome change. And many of the people in the new
administration. But nothing has changed. And we're going to have, General Saab, we're going to have a conversation about this. Nothing has changed, and we're going to have a conversation about Trump in the days ahead.
Nothing has changed.
Maybe even tomorrow. But I need to move on. I've really run out of time, Doc. I've really run out of time. I just want to say the only people in this world that are believing Trump tonight, viewers, or these days, I have to say this, is the Indian opposition. They think he speaks the gospel truth. I need to move on, viewers. But stay updated on your favorite stocks with Money Control. iSuper Pro. Receive real-time alerts with AI stock update features of Super Pro and get insights on key corporate announcements on stocks of your choice for quick decision-making. Get your investment superpowered today. Subscribe now.
Presented by This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Let's now talk about India as it has begun relocating students from Tehran's medical universities to safer zones amid the escalating Iran-Israel conflict. The Indian embassy, in close coordination with Iranian authorities, is facilitating this on-ground movement now. Many have been advised to leave the capital using private transport. Separately, some Indian nationals have exited via Armenia. The MEA has said that the situation remains fluid and further advisories may follow. Over 1,500 students are to be evacuated, and the first batch is already en route via the Armenia corridor.
How has the experience been? Because it's very traumatizing to see that your children are there and then there are a lot of difficult times for you. How has it been like for a couple of days? How was it for you personally as a parent, as a father of two kids?
I never experienced such a it was really trauma for me as well as for my children. But my children were they're very brave. Yeah. They really don't want to put us under any stress. It's not them only, all the children over there. But from the third night, when the strikes grew more, intensity of the strikes was more, that was really, my daughter told, tonight it will be difficult for us. And I was talking to her on video, and she told me that something has stuck, and I had heard a big explosion, and she started running downstairs. Running downstairs means to the ground floor, not any bunker, not any shelter, nothing. They were just standing in some corner or something like that. That was really painful.
There's a bit of helplessness on your
helplessness. That was very painful. That really was very painful.
So because now the government has started a process of at least moving them to a safer place, are you satisfied with the response that the government has given?
Definitely, we are satisfied. We all, not me only, all the parents, majority of the parents have said, really, now they are relieved, little bit, partially relieved, and they have been lodged in some hotels. They have been given buffet, breakfast and dinner. They will be served with dinner and lunch too.
And we're getting more updates on Indian students being evacuated from that Armenia route from Iranian universities. Remember, many of the medical students who are studying in Iran, in Iranian medical universities, also belong to the state of the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. And that's why the conversation that my colleague Ishan was having with one of the parents there, they are worried for the safe arrival of their kids, of their wards. And now we are putting out these latest visuals of the Indian students who are being taken out of Iran through the Armenia route. My colleague Siddhant is with us on the broadcast. Siddhant, here we have already spoken about how the Indian Ministry of External Affairs has in fact made arrangements so that about 1,500 of these students can be evacuated safely through this particular Armenia route. But what is the exact number of Indian students who are studying in Iran?
Well, Graham, we don't have the exact numbers, but the figure that is available in public domain, then it is somewhere between 1,500 to 2,000 Indian students studying in various universities across Iran. And in fact, most of them were taken to safer places by the Indian embassy day before yesterday. In fact, yesterday also, some were taken to the safer places to Qom and other parts out of Tehran. And now we're getting to know, in fact, the ministry has confirmed the footages and videos are also available that one batch of Indian students have successfully managed to reach Armenia via road route. And in fact, these are 100 students in the first batch, 110 students. Ministry of External Affairs has confirmed this officially. There is a control room which has been set up at Ministry of External Affairs' headquarters. 4 helpline numbers have also been issued. Ministry has asked the Indians, those who have their businesses in Tehran, those who have the transport facility to move out of the city and go to the safer places. So this is an advisory which has come because right now the priority for the government of India is to evacuate students and pilgrims first. And that is exactly being executed. A first batch has already reached. We could expect more students to reach Armenia in days to come. In fact, the other routes are also being explored, especially shipping route to UAE. In fact, Foreign Minister Jaishankar yesterday spoke to Emirati counterpart, and we've been told that that particular discussion was to seek the help of UAE in getting Indians evacuated. So, India is using all its diplomatic might to get help from the neighboring countries of Iran to get Indian students evacuated. But given the dynamics, the situation is evolving with each passing hour, and it has drastically changed in the last 24 hours. One was expecting before Saturday, one was expecting that this was done to put pressure on Iran to come to the tables and lock the deal with the United States. But it was much bigger, and it went beyond that. Both sides have climbed up the escalatory ladder, and in fact, it looks like there's going to be no end to it anytime soon. And so now, first batch has already reached Armenia. The other is